On Friday, I had top-rated 15 dime release number 85 out of 149 overall, and I called it my injury impact line error lock because I found a particular underdog that had a significant injury, which I felt would lead to the favorite in that particular game rolling with ease. The injury happened to be for Arizona State starting point guard Remy Martin. And the favorite in that case was Buffalo, 4.5 to 5 points. And Buffalo rolled with ease in that first round game, 91-74. And the injury certainly impacted Martin's play. I had noticed that in the Pac-12 tournament semifinal loss to Oregon a week earlier that he had strained his groin. It affected his performance, and I thought after reading about his status that it would definitely impact his performance last night. And it certainly did, because a guy who was really the engine for that team, a guy who had averaged like 13 points a game and had led the Pac-12 in assist-to-turnover ratio. He had struggled against Oregon, and he had struggled in the first four victory for Arizona State against St. John's in Dayton 2 nights earlier, and here he was 48 hours later being asked to lead this team against Buffalo, a team that was going to play up-tempo just like Arizona State wanted to, and I thought there was no way that he could possibly deliver, and he didn't. It's not that you can put the entire blame on Arizona State on his shoulders for the loss, but it certainly impacted their performance, and consequently he was 2 for 8 for just 6 points and 4 turnovers in 24 minutes, a guy who averaged almost 33 minutes a game. So that was a 15 dime best bet release. Today, however, I am upping the ante. Now, you know I rate 99% of my plays between 5 and 15 dimes because I believe in the economy of scale to let you know exactly how I like a play. But I have a lot of raise the bar 20 dime releases because, as you also know, when I'm winning, I like to press the action because, after all, this is gambling. That's how you make little baby bankrolls, grow up, go to college, and you make them expand. Today, I have my first 30-dime college basketball release in 7 years. In fact, it's only the second 30-dime play ever. Now, again, I have spotted an injury that is going to impact the outcome of the game. And once again, it's an injury affecting a key player on an underdog today, which will once again, I believe, lead to the favorite rolling to a decisive victory. Could I lose this game? Absolutely. There are no guarantees in gambling. We both know that. I've been telling you that for 20-some years. Guaranteed in gambling. Look it up in the dictionary. They don't exist on the same page. But I'm not telling you to mortgage your future. I'm not telling you to take money that's earmarked to put food on the table or to pay the mortgage payment, in fact. I'm telling you that if you've been along with me for the ride, and what a beautiful ride it's been for the past 9 months in baseball, football, and basketball, we are playing with plenty of profits to put a little extra on this game. That's what a 30-dime release means. If you're new to the dance, no pun intended, it means you've got to play within your bankroll allocation system. You've got to play for what you can afford to play. And that's really the key. My golden rule of gambling: never bet more than you can afford to lose. And then consequently, you'll never be left in a deep financial abyss from which there is no escape. So you have been warned. But I love the game, and I'm playing it such. And that's the bottom line. Now, complimentary plays after cashing in the previous 2 days with my selections. West Virginia on Wednesday, Gonzaga on Thursday. Yesterday I took a split. Cashing in with, I almost forgot who I cashed in with yesterday. Oregon, my God, are they on fire? The Ducks, 9 straight wins now, 8-1 ATS in that stretch. Losing with Cincinnati as the Bearcats once again proved to be a fraud. Today I have 2 more selections for you. Let's get right to them. One of the late games, I'm going to go with Villanova. Villanova plus the 3.5 points. Hard to believe the Villanova is an underdog in this game. And let me just quickly check the latest price on this game. Let's see if there's any variation here. No, Villanova's still a 3.5 point underdog. The defending champions against Purdue, a Purdue team that just doesn't impress me at all here. So Villanova struggled to beat St. Mary's 61-57 in a low-scoring game, and I'm not really surprised here because St. Mary's, not an exceptionally athletic team, but they had size, and I thought the Villanova would struggle because of St. Mary's size. But they clamped down defensively, held the Gales to just 43% shooting in that game. Listen, the bottom line is Jay Wright's team has won 14 of its last 15 big dance outings over the past few years straight up. Purdue, meanwhile, got the win 61-48 over Old Dominion, and Old Dominion is nothing. Old Dominion isn't that good. The thing here is Carson Edwards. And listen, I looked at this game too. Carson Edwards has been struggling with a back injury that's impacted his shooting the last 4 games. He's only hit at a 27% clip, including 11 of 45 for three-point range. When you are your team's leading scorer averaging 23 points a game, that's troubling. True, he had 26 points against Old Dominion, but if you delve a little deeper into the box score, you'll see that he was 7 for 23 in that game. I think Jay Wright is a smart enough guy. He's got those couple of national championship belts, right? I think he's smart enough to throw everything but the kitchen sink at Carson Edwards and challenge everybody else in the Boilermakers to beat him. Do I worry about Villanova offensively? Because let's face it, they basically have been a two-man team all season long with Phil Booth and Eric Paschal leading them offensively. Yes, but I think in a low-scoring game with these teams really breaking a sweat to get out of the upper 50s, low 60s, I will take the points, and it wouldn't surprise me to see Villanova win the game. I do think they will, and I like Villanova in this matchup. The earlier game, I'm going to go and ride Murray State and Hartford. What the hell? Plus 4.5 points against Florida State. Does Florida State have a slight size advantage? Yes. Does Florida State have a depth advantage with, 11 guys that average double minutes? Yes. But you tell me, who was the more impressive team in Thursday's action, Murray State or Florida State? Now, granted, Murray State beat a Marquette team that started the season like this and ended the season like that. Oh my gosh. The Golden Eagles were one of those crash and burn teams at the end. You saw that loss, 83-64, coming from a mile away, because the Golden Eagles simply lost their way toward the final 3 weeks of the regular season, right through the Big East tournament. They were a team that looked so good early in February and then just totally faded into oblivion. Murray State shot 53.6% against Marquette. Great ball movement with 23 assists in that game. Jean Morant, who's going to be a first-round draft pick, probably a top 5 draft pick, a triple-double, 17.6, 16 assists, 11 rebounds. This is a guy who averaged 24 points, 10 assists during the season. Kevin Brown, the freshman, had 19 points. Murray State shot 49.6% for the game, 50% from three-point range as they notched their 12th consecutive win. Now, Florida State is a very strong team defensively. They only give up about 67 points a game, right? But they struggled against Vermont. I mean, the Catamounts, who come from a conference that I'm not impressed with, the American East. I mean, if you got to give me the Ohio Valley Conference versus the American East, I'll take the Ohio Valley Conference 7 days plus Sunday and Monday too. I'm just not impressed, and yet the Catamounts played well. Hit 16 of 32 three-pointers against that Florida State defense. What did I just tell you about Murray State? They hit 50% of their threes against Marquette. Okay? And Florida State struggled, did not cover in that 76-69 win against Vermont. And you're giving me Murray State plus 4.5 points in what a game that I think could be a foot race? I'll take Murray State plus the points as well. Of the two games, I like Villanova a little more, but I like them both. So Villanova would be the slight favorite in that one, as an underdog, no pun intended again. But I like both selections. So that'll do it. I wish you well, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.